it hasn't been the season the A's had hoped for, there have been some moments. For instance, the Athletics' debut of Aaron Brooks on August 1st. The young right-hander was acquired in a midseason trade with the Royals and made his first start versus the Indians at the O.co. Brooks did not disappoint. He scattered 5 hits, allowed 1 run in 7 1/3 innings and got the win. After being sent down, Brooks came back and pitched well versus the Diamondbacks last weekend. Tonight, he returns to the mound at the Coliseum and tries to keep his momentum rolling as he takes on the Mariners to open up a 3-game set. A's M's next. After an off day, the A's are back to work at the O.co Coliseum as the 9-game homestand continues, and it's Aaron Brooks' turn to take the hill tonight in front of the home fans. It's the first of a 3-game series. It's the Oakland A's and the Seattle Mariners, and it's coming up on CSN California. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with Eric Chavez, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Aaron Brooks tonight making his 5th start of the year, and kind of an evaluation process for all these young pitchers, and Brooks is certainly one of them. He pitched well in his last start, Eric, down in Arizona in a hitter's ballpark against a good lineup. Yeah, he did look really good. He only gave up 2 earned runs in 6 innings, and he's really looked good. All starts that he's made for the A's. He had the one hiccup in Toronto, but what pitcher hasn't? And he uses that good fastball. He spots the fastball, mixes in a curveball, a slider, but he puts his hitters away with that really good changeup. And what he did is he pitched well enough, kept his team in the game, and the A's won the game 3-2. Now, in this series, we're going to get our second look at Ketel Marte, young shortstop for the Mariners. He was in that series last week in Seattle, and to say that the A's came away impressed would be an understatement. Yeah, and he's only 21 years old, and they're very excited about this guy. He's actually played center, he's played second, but they want him to fill that shortstop role, and he provides speed. He's got some pop, and they like his defense at shortstop. And the Mariners have been looking for a shortstop for a while. They may have found one in the 21-year-old Marte. He will bat leadoff tonight for Seattle. So the Mariners have won 9 of the 13 games played against the A's so far this year. A's will try to turn that around tonight in the first of a 3-game series. It's the A's and it's the Seattle Mariners, and we'll have lineups and first pitch on a Friday night from the Coliseum. We'll have that for you when we come back.
limited time, try the new Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack with melted garlic herb butter. And by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
So here come the Athletics as we're set for the first of this three-game series between the A's and the Seattle Mariners. Here's the game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily. 66 degrees, so it's going to be a little bit of a cool night at the ballpark as it is the first week of September already. So cool weather starting to set in a little bit in the Bay Area, at least supposed to be that way this weekend. So let's look at the lineup tonight for the Seattle Mariners. It starts with the young man we talked about in the open of our show, Ketel Marte. He's a switch-hitting shortstop. Then Seager, Gutierrez, Cano, Smith, Trumbo, Morrison, Miller, and Hicks. So no Nelson Cruz tonight.
And on the mound, Aaron Brooks making his fifth start. He's 1-1 with a 5.47 ERA. His last start was in Arizona versus the Diamondbacks. He took the no decision, giving up 2 earned runs and 6-inning pitch. And he's got a pretty good strike-to-ball ratio, 21 Ks to only 4 walks. And he's got that devastating changeup.
Defensively for the A's tonight against the Mariners, Tyler Ladendorf in the lineup tonight in left field. Billy Burns in center, Smolinski in right. Valencia, Simeon, Laurie, and Canna on the infield with Fegley doing the catching. So Tyler Ladendorf, a late addition to the starting lineup, as Stephen Vogt was in the original lineup, but Stephen Vogt experiencing some soreness in his right elbow. So Vogt, who was in the lineup at first base, was scratched from the lineup. Mark Canna moved from left field to first base, and Tyler Ladendorf was inserted into the lineup playing left field. So we hope Stephen Vogt's okay. A little bit of a sore elbow. It's an authentic Fan Friday at the Coliseum right above us. Good section. People having a good time as always up above us. And we're set for baseball. Aaron Brooks kicks, and the first pitch of the game is a fastball outside to Ketel Marte.
First pitch, 7:07.
264 for Marte. 0 on the home run column. 6 RBIs. This is the 30th game that Marte has played it. Umpires tonight, Gabe Morales is calling balls and strikes. Holbrook, Carlson, and Gibson. That's Mark Carlson. He's at second base, and he's your crew chief. Two and one the count. Marte is a switch hitter. On the ground, Simeon quickly throws to first, and Canna cannot dig it out. Marte with that good speed is aboard. So they're going to give Simeon an error.
Yeah, it looks like Marte kind of hits this one off the end, and we all know he's got pretty good speed, very athletic, and Marcus just tries to hurry the throw a little bit. Maybe picked him up while he was running to first. Still trying to improve on that defense every day. Nice try by Mark right there.
So Expo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. So 33rd error of the year for Marcus Simeon, and for the team, error number 105. And here's Kyle Seager. So not an easy play for Marcus Simeon, but I think you could probably say, Eric, that it's a play that should have
been made, yeah, by a big league shortstop, yes. And once again, it's when I watch Marcus play, it's some of these throws that end up being a little bit low, and you know, he seems to be fielding the ball a lot better, moving smoothly at short, but we got to make, you know, that consistent throw more often, and if he's going to play shortstop every day, and those are the plays that got to be made at this level.
Marte with good speed, so keep an eye on him. The pitch is outside. Marte's got 4 steals in 5 attempts. Seager hitting .264, 21 home runs, 56 RBI. Pop foul back. Big news in the Seager family last night was that Kyle's brother Corey was called up by the Los Angeles Dodgers, and he is considered by many to be the top minor league prospect in all of baseball.
Yes.
And
that's saying something, because there's a lot of good prospects right now too. So
he's a tall left-handed hitter, plays shortstop and third base, and he had a couple big hits last night for the Dodgers in his major league debut. So Kyle very proud of his younger brother Corey Seager. I have a feeling you'll hear a lot about Corey Seager. But his brother's a pretty good player as well. Mariners gave Kyle a 7-year, $100 million extension in the offseason, so he's a cornerstone for Seattle.
And he's gotten off to a slow start, but like most of the Mariners have gotten hot lately.
Yes, he has.
And this lineup looks a lot different without Nelson Cruz in it. I think he's nursing a sore quad.
Indeed, quad strain for Cruz. And don't forget about Austin Jackson, who was traded last week to the Chicago Cubs. So no Cruz and no Jackson in the Mariners lineup. Marte with a huge jump and balls hit foul. Glenn McClendon in his second season. So he's got to probably wonder what's going on, because Jack Sorensic was let go, the general manager of the Seattle Mariners. There's Cruz, but it can never be an easy time for a manager when the general manager that chose you to be the manager is let go.
Right.
It's not fun. Doesn't mean that Lloyd McClendon's not doing a good job. Big season last year with 87 wins, but a disappointing season this year.
They had a really good team in spring training. I actually picked them to win the division coming out of it, and actually winning the American League crown.
Well, they were kind of the fancy pick, but the pitching staff has let them down this year.
The hitting got off to a slow start. Cano wasn't swinging the bat well. Seager wasn't swinging well. Cruz was the only one hitting from day one. Good players. They're starting to play better now. This is, I think, when they put this team together, this is how they envision them playing.
That one hit high down the right field line. Smolinski is going to watch this one sail foul. Not by much. It was very high. It went right over top of the foul pole.
Yeah, Kyle is hot. I don't know if that was a changeup left up, and fortunately for the A's, just going foul.
So 2-2 to Seager. Seager 13 hits in his last 32 at bats. There's the home and road splits. Interesting there. 17 road home runs for Seager, just 4 at home. But more on the Mariners. They're 63-71. They've won 4-6. And they're coming off a series where they won 2 out of 3 in Houston.
Yeah, it's funny at times where you struggle at home and you're looking forward to get on the road. You just relax a little bit, and you obviously signed that big deal and might be pressing at home.
Runner goes, and the pitch is inside. It's a walk. So an error and a walk, and the Mariners have something going here in the first.
And that was a really good take right there. That was a 3-2 changeup, and Seager didn't even flinch at it. That's telling me he's seeing the ball really good.
Number 30, Franklin Gutierrez.
Mariners had an off day yesterday, so they spent that off day in the Bay Area after coming from Houston on Wednesday night. We'll finish this series and then head home. On the road this year, the Mariners are 34-35. At home, 29-36. So they've been better on the road than at home. It's a nice surprise for him. Franklin Gutierrez is hitting .315, 11 home runs and 30 RBIs.
Yeah, kind of a head scratcher for them, you know, with the injuries, and He really has bounced back this year, and you kind of wonder how he's going to fix into the plans next year moving forward. He was a center fielder. Now they're putting Brad Miller out there, who was the former shortstop. They need Marte to be able to play shortstop at an everyday level. So much like the A's, a lot of question marks, a lot of auditioning for the next month.
Two to Franklin Gutierrez with Robinson Cano waiting in the on-deck circle. Good pitch, breaking ball, catches the outside corner. So that's the first out here in the top of the first.
And that was a good pitch. Looked like Aaron went with the slider.
Batting in the fourth position.
Put it in a good spot. Gutierrez couldn't pull the trigger.
Robinson Cano.
Yeah, I'm thinking these two teams are going to drastically look different next year heading into spring and into April. But you look at the American League West in general, there's some good teams out there. Anaheim's always going to be good. Houston's now in the mix for the next few years with their young talent. And Texas.
Yep.
Texas is only 2 games back. They may win the division. So it's going to be a pretty good division for the next few years.
And the Mariners are locked into some, obviously, some long-term contracts with veteran players, which is fine. And the A's are look at a lot of the young players.
Yeah, Seattle, they just had everything go wrong for them. I mean, the hitting was slumping, pitching, there were some injuries, some question marks. But they've got some players, they got some horses, and they all come together. Things click. They're going to be a very good team.
1-0 pitch to Cano is tapped slowly. Where he has it. Out at second, on to first. Double play. 4-6-3, and Brooks gets out of the jam. So the Mariners had 2 on, nobody out, and they do not score. A's come to bat in the bottom of the first.
Introducing the new Corona can.
For September. I believe it's September. The call-ups have arrived. Here's the A's lineup: Burns, Canna, Laurie, Valencia, Fegley, Smolinski, Butler, Leidendorf, and Simeon.
And they will be facing Edgar Olmos, 6'4", 220, left-handed pitcher, 25 years of age. He's making a second spot start since Mike Montgomery was sent down to the minors. His last start, he faced the White Sox. He went 5 innings, giving up 5 hits, 5 base on balls, 3 earned runs, and he took the no decision. He's got a good fastball. He's got good tilt and movement on his curveball. He's got a little slider and a pretty good changeup. But the A's need to make him throw strikes today.
A's faced him in that series last week in Seattle out of the bullpen. In fact, he pitched on back-to-back days. so they've seen a little bit of them anyways. First pitch to Burns is hit up the middle into center field, the base hit. First pitch fastball, and Billy Burns does what he always does. He swings at the first pitch and hits it right up the middle.
Yeah, just a fastball. Not thinking the hitter's going to swing. And Billy's been doing it the whole year. What a great year he's been having. Good swing, take it right back up the box. Good start for the A's.
Hit number 129 for Burns, most among rookies in the American League. And here's Mark Canha, who leads American League rookies in RBIs with 54. Mark Canha getting a nice long look here. Final month and a half of the season.
And I am a little bit surprised the A's are coming out swinging, being aggressive. Like I mentioned a couple minutes ago, Edgar did struggle throwing strikes to the White Sox, and he had trouble pretty much every inning he was out there. He was able to pitch out of some jams because he's got good stuff, but make him bring it over the plate.
I mentioned those two appearances by Olmos against the A's in Seattle. The second of those two appearances, he was the winning pitcher. He pitched 3 2/3 innings out of the bullpen, and he got the win. That was a 6-5 Mariners victory. Burns with 25 steals. He's been thrown out 6 times. Get a read on Olmos. Laurie is the on-deck hitter.
Billy does have a pretty big lead over at first. Edgar obviously seeing that. Well, that's good. That's what you want to do as a leadoff hitter. You want to get out there. They haven't seen him too much, so they want to see what type of move he has. You usually have a one-way lead, and he keeps inching a little bit further along there, so looking to be aggressive.
Pitch out, nothing going on.
And you can see as soon as he picked up his leg, Billy's first move was back. So that's what you call a one-way lead. You get out there far, you want to draw the throw. First movement he has as a pitcher, your first step is back, and that's what a good leadoff hitter will do.
Now, would he be doing that too, Eric, to force the pitcher to throw over there so he can get a look at his move?
No, that's exactly what it is. And you know, you want the bench to see what type of move he has too. You want Ty Waller. Obviously, Ty has seen the video on him, so he kind of has an idea a little bit. But until you see a guy in person and you're out there, you definitely want to see his move.
And I'm kind of copying what you're saying, but I guess my point is you want to see his best move.
If you could do that, yeah. I think he's already thrown over 3 or 4 times already. So,
because the soft move where he just flips over, that doesn't really do you any good as a base runner. You want to see the good move.
Yes, exactly.
Seager charges and he juggles and he doesn't have a play anywhere. We'll see what the ruling is there.
That'll be an E5 for sure.
And it is.
Yeah, Kyle, just make sure one right here. You're not going to get to. It's not a ball you're going to turn to. You got Billy, a fast runner, bearing down on second. Just take your time, make sure one. Kind of takes his eye off a little bit, flips it to his hand, and makes an error.
So he had it in his glove,
and it was in the exchange where he lost it.
So it is an error. It's error number 76 on the year for the Mariners. They're 6th in the league in fielding percentage. Last year they were 1st. Pitch to Laurie, slider down and in. A lot of things different for the Mariners. Last year they had the best ERA in the American League. This year they're 12th in the league. 1st in errors last year, 6th this year.
Yeah, the pitching was a surprise for sure.
Bullpen was terrific last year. Not the case this year.
Yeah, very similar to the A's. Very disappointing year.
Base hit left field. Gutierrez juggles it, and Burns is being waved, but he stopped. He turned around to look, and he was not looking at Ron Washington.
Yeah.
Ron Washington saw the juggle by Gutierrez, and he was waving him. But Burns wasn't looking at the third base coach.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That was a good swing right there by Brett. Good line drive to left, and this is a mistake, and it's a mistake I think on both parties here. I know when Ron wants to send somebody, he'll actually move towards third base, and that lets the runners know that they're going to wave him. So usually when he backs down, and everybody was anticipating that throw coming back in, so you could see he did stop him. Billy took his eye off for a minute. This was a mistake, but that's not a mistake that's going to kill you, because there's nobody out, bases loaded. So hopefully Valencia can pick him up.
First pitch to Valencia. Swing and a miss. Pulled off a little bit.
Like I said before, the A's are being aggressive. I just wonder what it is that they talked about.
Game plan, huh?
Yeah, it's just they've been successful at it. So
low again, 1-1 the count.
Yeah, and that's tough. I can really see Billy's side on this too. When the hands get thrown up, you kind of just shut it down. And maybe that was a mistake on Billy's part. But like I said, it's a mistake that's not going to hurt right now. Valencia just needs to come up with a big at bat.
And he drives this one right center. Smith going back, and that baby is gone. And that's a first inning grand slam for Danny Valencia.
All's forgotten. That's how you pick up your teammates right there.
So Valencia showing power the other way, and it's 4-0 A's here in the first.
Josh Phegley.
And here's Phegley.
And that's the difference. Brooksy was able to pitch through his team's mistakes and almost was not.
Third home run to right field for Valencia.
He really has been fantastic.
Yes, he has.
The day he arrived, I mean, he's been hitting. So what a good find. What a good pickup by the A's.
His 13th home run of the year. He now has 51 RBIs.
I thought somebody was let go, and now that he's hitting fourth in your lineup. That's some type of pickup right there.
Pitch right in there to Phegley, and it's 3-1. Phegley hitting .263 with 8 homers, 31 RBIs.
It's a pretty good combination he's had with Vogt going. They've put up some pretty decent numbers together.
Marte scoops it up, throws across the diamond, and that is the first out of the inning.
Yeah, it looked like this was a fastball away, middle, little bit of run. But Valencia looking to stay in the middle of the field. He's got that close stance, head down. I don't really think he was thinking home run right there. He was, let me just get this running, drive it to the outfield, and oops. I put the barrel on it, 4-0 A's.
So here's Smolinski, who takes on the inside corner first strike. Combined numbers for Smolinski, 198 with 3 homers, 17 RBIs. And that one is fair. Nice play, Morrison. He finds it, but his throw is late. Rolls through the infield, and Smolinski's aboard. And it's going to be a base hit. Morrison well off the line. He actually had a lot of ground to cover.
Batting in the 7th position, designated hitter.
Yeah, this was going to be tough. He hit this off the end of the bat, kind of squibbling down the first base side. He was playing him in the hole, goes a long way, makes a nice diving stop, and this was going to be a hit right away with Smolinski's speed. You could see the ball with the spin going towards the foul line. It's a good play to smother it. Probably saved a double. Yeah, and he was going to be safe with the throw anyway.
So 4 hits for the A's. Here's Butler. A little bit low.
Yeah, he was. And you could see him taking that good angle just to knock it down. Like I said, he saved a double right there. Just couldn't come up with the throw, but he was going to be safe anyway.
Again, 2-0.
Will the A's hitter continue to make him work hard, throw some pitches, get into that bullpen? Obviously in September not as much as a factor with the call-ups, but
243 for Butler with 9 home runs and 48 RBIs. He was 5 for 11 in that series against the Angels. Couple of doubles taken all away, and it's a strike. 3-1. And it's a walk. First and second, 1 out. So Rick Waits is going to come out, pitching coach. Not much has gone right for Edgar Olmos here in the bottom of the first. He's given up 4 hits, a walk, there's been an error, and he's given up a grand slam. So we got action in the bullpen in the first inning. Jose Ramirez is up. So here's Tyler Ladendorf. Saw him at the beginning of the year in the big leagues with the A's. Then got injured and was in the minor leagues. Spent a lot of time on the disabled list.
He looked pretty good, didn't he, when he got a chance to play? I saw him play second. Was he playing second base?
He moved around quite a bit in the early going. Played some third, left, and today in left field.
It's so huge to have some versatility for the manager.
Marte charges, handles a tough hop. Cano, and his throw to first is wide. And Ladendorf is aboard. 2 outs now with runners at the corners.
Yeah, and that's one thing too with Robbie. I know from turning double plays with him, he likes the ball low, so he likes it from his belt to his knees. And the way he fields the ball, with his glove up, and he likes to throw low with his arm. And Marte and Cano, they're going to get a feel for one another. They know how each other wants to work. You can see Robbie wanted that ball just a little bit lower, kind of handcuffed him a little bit, and Ladendorf able to beat it out.
So 2 outs, and the 9th man to hit is Simeon, and the first pitch outside.
And they'll get it figured out. I know Marte and Robbie have been spending a lot of time together, so it's a pretty good guy to have some tutelage under.
2-0 to Simeon. Simeon's been swinging a hot bat. He was 5 for 11 in that series against the Angels, and overall 7 for his last 17. Taken on 2-0, and it's a strike. 27 pitches here in the first inning for Edgar Olmos. Close pitch, 3-1. Fouls it back. Just got a piece of that one. So full count, and Lindorf, the runner at first, will take off. He's got good speed. Throw over there, and Lindorf. Well, he just saw the good move by Olmos. Faked out his first base. Foul back right up over the screen. Count remains 3-2. If you're just joining us, Danny Valencia with a grand slam here in the first inning to give the A's their 4-0 lead. This one's hit high in the air towards center field. Miller's back there. He's got it. Side retired. Damage done by the Athletics. Danny Valencia, a grand slam. His third career grand slam. And after one from the Coliseum, the A's lead 4-0. Grand slam, and the A's have a 4-0 lead, second inning. So good start, as Aaron Brooks has runs to work with, thanks to that man. Seth Smith to lead it off, followed by Trumbull and Morrison. First pitch just a touch low to Seth Smith. 5 for 7 in shutdown inning opportunities for Aaron Brooks this year. He's got one here. Big series going down in LA, the Anaheim actually, with the Rangers and the Angels tonight. Perez for Texas, Richards for the Angels. The Rangers are the second wild card team, and the Angels are 3.5 back of the Rangers. So it's an opportunity for the Angels. That game is scoreless in the 3rd inning. So we'll keep a close eye on that one. Angels won the final 2 games of the series here in Oakland, but overall in a tough stretch right now, and they now have an opportunity to make a move on the Rangers. Rangers, on the other hand, have won 6 out of 7. Finished up a great month of August where they went 18-10, and they're feeling pretty good about themselves.
Yeah, I think when they made that trade for Hamels, I think it kind of shocked everybody. It definitely shocked me, but you know, they saw something in their team. There must have been, you know, the way they were playing the game and the pitching they were getting. Some guys coming off the DL, they felt pretty good about their chances in the second half, and it's paid off.
Well, and they are also, Xavi, only 2 games behind the Astros in the division.
Yeah, the division is not over.
So they are right there. Angels are 5.5 back in the West. So that's big series, 3-gamer. Again, no score in the 3rd inning.
And that's awesome for the state of Texas. I mean, anytime you have 2 teams going at it in the same division, I mean, the excitement going to be in the next 4 weeks here is going to be pretty cool.
There's the West.
I mean, you easily could have flip-flopped that. You know
what? You're right. That's a good call.
A's at the top.
Mariners near the top. Not the case. Astros are winning right now 7-0 over the Twins in the 8th inning at home. So Houston has a big lead in their game.
I mean, I think people thought Houston was going to be better. They didn't think they're going to be this good.
No, I don't think anybody did. Astros 73-61 with the 4th best record in the American League. .32 curveball is high, and Seth Smith has a walk. So leadoff runner aboard. Hey, it's time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag CSNCA DataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's all brought to you by T-Mobile.
And that was the last thing right there. Brooksy wanted a leadoff walk. You want to challenge the Mariners right now, make them earn it. They've got some thunder. Trumbull's been swinging the bat well. Had a really good series in Houston. Pound the zone.
Morrison to follow here. With the leadoff man aboard. Trumbull hits one high in the air, foul near the A's dugout. Fegley over, and Fegley has it. So 1 away. Big out there with the power hitting Trumbo heading back to the dugout.
Batting in the 7th position.
Morrison steps up.
Number 20.
And one more note on the Astros, Xavi. They got George Springer back tonight. How about that?
Yes. Batting in the leadoff spot, too.
Not a bad guy to get back in your lineup after a long injury for Springer, but young right fielder is back tonight. So that can only happen.
Correa. What a good combination they got working there.
Here's Morrison hitting .223 with 15 home runs, 45 RBIs, and he takes a little bit low.
And they come into town, right?
Astros are here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Casimir's going to pitch one of those games for Houston.
Man, what a turnaround he's had. Pretty excited for him. I mean, he's throwing the ball as well as he's ever thrown it in his career, and he was good too with Tampa and Anaheim. He was good here. Really turned it around.
I wonder if the Astros will make a strong push to re-sign him. That's possible. I know he's from there. He lives there.
Yeah.
It's going to cost somebody some money to get Scott Kazmir. He's a free agent after this year, but it wouldn't surprise me if Houston makes a run at keeping it.
I think the Astros have positioned themselves to go ahead and go after him. I mean, they went and signed those guys out of the bullpen. Not extremely large contracts, but they got young players.
That one flipped into left center field, and that's going to get down for a hit. Seth Smith digging for third. He'll make it. Morrison goes the other way. First and third, one out, and that'll bring up Brad Miller.
Looked like a fastball right down the middle. Almost stays on it. Puts a good swing on it.
Brad Miller.
Seth going hard all the way. Not a speed burner at all, but no chance of getting thrown out at third, and Seattle's got something going.
So the left-handed hitting Miller steps in. Miller playing in center field tonight.
And they're going to give Brad a look in center field. They've been trying him out lately. And he's looked decent. He's looked pretty good.
I remember they said earlier in the year that let's make this guy a super duper utility guy who can play everywhere.
Well, they're looking to see if he can play center field every day.
Yeah.
They're not looking for a utility man right now. They want to see what they got, test him.
Hits this one hard toward Leidendorf, who reaches up to make the catch. Seth Smith tags up. He will score, and Miller with a sacrifice fly, and the Mariners are on the board. It's 4-1.
Yeah, that's what you want to do right there if you're the Mariners. There's plenty of time to score runs. Got an opportunity to put a run across the board. It's a good swing right there. Good approach.
Position, the catcher, number 6, John.
And there's that leadoff walk coming around to score.
So 2 outs, and here's John Hicks, catcher. There's a strike. Mariners sent Mike Zunino to the minor leagues. Zunino really struggling. And they called up John Hicks.
Yeah, you got to think Zunino and Jesus Montero will be back here once the season ends. But you don't want to bury a guy the whole year. He loses his confidence. He's pretty good behind the plate. He's got some power, but he really had struggled offensively pretty much the whole year.
So maybe a September opportunity for John Hicks, who's 1 for 7 in his big league career.
And being sent down is not a bad thing. It's all how you view it. You know, mentally, it's going to be hard for the first few days. Just go down there, you get some work done, you get some confidence, and when you come back, you just make a commitment. I'm not being sent back down.
Swing and a miss, and Fegley puts the tag on him. Side retired. So a run for the Mariners. So they are on the board. Bottom of the second, coming up 4-1.
Rangers on September 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. And everyone in your suite will receive an A's replica pullover. For more information, call 510-638-GO-A's or visit athletics.com/pullover.
So 4-1, it's the bottom of the second inning. He's batted around in the first, got a Valencia grand slam. New left fielder is Stephan Romero. So Gutierrez is out of the game. We'll let you know why in just a moment. First pitch to Burns, slider for strike. So a little groin tightness for Gutierrez. That is why he is out of the game. So Romero in left. 1-1 to Billy Burns. Singleton scored in the first. Hits this one in the air on the infield. Cano comes in and he makes the catch. So one away in the bottom of the second, and Cano will hit.
Now batting first baseman, number 20, Mark Canha.
Canha reached on an error in the first inning. It was an error on Seager. That certainly helped put together the big rally by the Athletics.
You'd be surprised with how many injuries happen after a flight. You know, especially a long flight. I know they only came from Houston, but they had the day off yesterday. And those days off, you got to make sure you get up and do something, because you can, you know, with how grueling the season is. There's been times I've never left the hotel room all day, slept.
Sure.
And that could be the worst thing for you. I'm not saying that was the case, but a lot of injuries do happen after flights, days off. It just throws a wrench in the schedule.
Yeah. 3-0 to Canha. Almost walked one in the first inning. One's in for a strike at 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, and Edgar doesn't look like he's got enough command to be a starter. He just, to me, he's got reliever written all over him, and he's spraying the zone a little bit. Got a good arm, good stuff.
Base hit off center field. So that's hit number 5 for the A's. Let's check out our forward right choice, Brett Lawrie. Long ball stretch going. 4 home runs in his last 6 games. And on the year, 15 long ones. It's a career high.
That ball in Arizona was tattooed.
Yes,
it was tattooed.
So you played there for a couple years, so you know how long that is to hit one.
Up in the restaurant up there. 470, I think. 470 something. He also hit that shot earlier, too, I saw off the window in center. So he's got it in there. He's had a real good year for the A's. He's stayed healthy. We talked about leaving Toronto, getting off the turf, coming to Oakland. He's had a real good year. He's ended up at second, which I don't think anybody ever saw that happening, but with the addition of Valencia.
Two 2-0 to Lawrie. Runner goes, and the throw to second is late. So Canha just took off, and he forces the defense to make 2 good throws, and you have to make those throws quickly and accurately, and Canha just beat it.
Yeah, and I think the A's were just guessing here. This was first move. As soon as he picked up his leg, he was taking off. 2-0. You're thinking the pitcher's just going to focus on throwing a strike. They took a gamble, and just able to beat the throw in the second.
2-0 pitch. Drilled towards center. Miller going back. It's over his head. Up against the wall. He picks it up quickly. McKenna's going to come in to score, so the stolen base comes up big. McKenna scores on the double by Laurie, and it's 5-1.
Yeah, as a pitcher, you just cannot survive in this league going down 2-0, 3-0, 3-1 to hitters. They're going to take advantage of the too good of hitters. Even though he's got good stuff, the A's are just teeing off on him right now. And that ball was hit hard. Line drive over Miller's head. I know he's a new center fielder, but that gets over everybody's head.
Lloyd McClendon's coming out. That's probably not a good sign for Edgar Olmos. He has not made the move yet. Now he has. So 1 1/3 for Edgar Olmos. He's knocked out here in the second when it's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Tune Up, your oil change, tune up, and repair experts.
May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
So Olmos goes an inning and a third, 6 hits, 5 runs, and it was not pretty.
Yeah, I think this experiment's going to be a short experiment with Olmos.
So the new pitcher is Jose Ramirez. And he faces Danny Valencia. 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Those are the numbers with the Yankees. He was just called back up to the big leagues by the Mariners. He came over in a trade at the trade deadline, and it was the Dustin Ackley trade. Ackley went from the Mariners to the Yankees.
I know Jose very well. Got a good arm, upper 90s, 97. Got an outstanding changeup. But for some reason, that fastball at 97 just gets hit up all over the park, and hitters must just see it really good out of his hand. And that slider is actually his 3rd best pitch.
So 2-1 to Valencia. Chops this one up the third baseline. Seager throws just in time to get Valencia for the second out. Valencia, after hitting the grand slam in the first inning, grounds out here in the second. Cleanup hitters with a grand slam in the first inning. Danny Valencia tonight. Dave Kingman, Mark McGuire, Matt Stairs, and Brandon Moss. So A's cleanup hitters with a grand slam in the first inning in Oakland history. Dave Kingman, Mark McGuire, Matt Stairs, Brandon Moss. So 2 away. First pitch to Fegley is hit high down the left field line, but it's foul. So the battle is on. Easy, fellas. Don't want anybody to get hurt. So there's that slider, and that is a good one. 87 miles an hour. Well, a little bit like the A's, if you're a Mariners reliever, there's jobs to be had out there for next year.
Absolutely.
Because their bullpen is just completely different than it was even at the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
Guys are on the DL, guys have been traded, guys have been let go. Rodney's gone, Furbush on the DL. It's just a whole different group now.
Rodney, to me, he's one of the nastiest pitchers I've ever faced. You know, it's how he ever gives up a hit, I have no idea. But I think the Cubs, obviously, he has had a relationship with Madden.
Well, not a bad club to end up with, the Chicago Cubs. Two and two the count to Fegley, who grounded out to the shortstop in the first inning. Fastball right there. Fegley knew it. So the A's get a run on Laurie's double, which scored Canis. So the third inning is coming up. It's the A's 5 and the Mariners 1. Posse and head to Roaring Camp for the last week of free Heritage events. Beautiful night on a Friday night, with the A's leading 5-1 in the first of a 3-game series. Long homestand. Astros will be in Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then a long road trip for the A's. Leadoff man steps in, Ketel Marte. He reached on an error in the first inning. 5-1, so Brooks see what he can do. Holding on to that 4-run lead. That one is ripped to right, and that's a hit. And that's going to go to the wall, and Marte will hustle into second, and he's got a leadoff double. So 9th double this year, and for Marte, his 9th hit against the A's. And this is just the 4th game he's played against the A's.
Yeah, in Seattle, I think he was 8 for 14, causing all types of trouble for the A's. And he's back at it again, got a hanging changeup. Shows that speed. That was going to be an easy double for him anyway. Good looking player.
Yep. Just 21 years old. Seager goes the other way, and it's foul. Well, of course, Marte has been great against the A's, and he's only playing in his 30th game. But the point is seems like the Mariners have been looking for a leadoff hitter since Ichiro left.
They have been.
And they have plenty of power with Seager and Cruz and Cano. So the middle of their lineup is very good.
Yes.
But it's been about 4 years now where they need a leadoff hitter.
Yeah.
Austin Jackson was not really a leadoff hitter.
No. He definitely adds that element of speed and energy.
Yeah. But that would be a big boost for Seattle moving on into the future if they had a leadoff hitter. He was not a leadoff hitter. Pretty good number 3 hole hitter, Edgar Martinez.
Really good. One of the best hitters I've ever seen. And just much like Ron Washington coming over to the A's, helping out with the defense and improvements, as soon as he got there, this offense started clicking. And you don't ever want to say it was because of that, but it was a part of it. You know, you got to have a message to get across to these guys. And, you know, Cano got healthy and Seager started swinging the bat well, and it's all come together. But Edgar Martinez is a good hitting coach to have on your side in your dugout.
There's your numbers to back it up. They've added a run per game. So he's doing something right. One and 2 to Seager. And Seager rips one. Headed for the right field corner, and that's fair. Marte hustling in. He will score, and it's going to be an RBI double, and it's 5-2. Back-to-back doubles here to open up the top of the 3rd.
And you could see they're definitely taking the mistakes up in the zone. That's a fastball in, kind of a flat fastball. That's the 2nd time Kyle's had a good swing against Brooksy. Laces the double into right, driving in Marte. Seattle offensively has just turned it around. They're a different ball club than we saw a couple weeks ago. And this is the offensive club they put together that they wanted to see, and it just was slow developing. And Brooks has got to start working down in the zone a little bit more.
So this is Stephan Romero, who came in the game
now batting
bottom of the 2nd inning, taking over for Franklin Gutierrez. Gutierrez left with a slight groin pull. So Romero, not a lot of playing time, obviously. How about 1 for 3? First pitch, just got a piece of it.
Yeah, and a lot of times with these call-ups that you have in September, it's not always about getting on the field and playing, though that is important. More, it's just getting around the clubhouse, getting around the guys, getting to know the big league way. These are guys that they anticipate are going to be in the big leagues in the near future. And you just get a feel for how things work, how you go about your business, how to be a professional. Getting an opportunity to play tonight.
Up the middle, that's a base hit. Here comes Seager. Burns his throw, cut off, and it's 5-3. Romero goes right back up the middle with a base hit.
Aaron Stuff just a little bit flat tonight. That's a slider, just spun right over the middle of the plate.
Number 22,
Gets the foot down, drives it up the middle. getting an opportunity to play, showing McClendon he can help the club win.
Phone is ringing. He who's in action, and who's it going to be? Pat Venditti. And still nobody out for Robinson Cano.
And he got Robbie to roll over in the first inning for a double play with a changeup. Let's see if he can do it again.
I would say Brooks needs that right now. And there's another hit, a line drive to right field. So Romero stops at second. 4 straight hits by the Mariners.
Yeah, Venditti better hurry up. Brooks, Aaron just does not have good stuff. It just looks flat right over the middle of the plate again. Looks like a changeup. Robbie was out in front a little bit, but still keeps the barrel on the ball. And they're just getting real good looks and good swings off of Aaron tonight.
And Fegley's out to talk to Brooks. I think what he's doing is he's maybe giving Venditti a little more time.
If you're going to miss over the middle of the plate, you better be bringing 95 with a hard slider. And Aaron has the stuff where he needs to live on the corners and mix up his pitches, stay out of the middle of the zone.
So Cessna steps in. He walked and scored in the second inning. And that one is a little bit off the plate. Brooks maybe showing a little frustration. I don't know that that's necessarily a strike. It may have been inside or may have been outside a little bit.
That was a ball. Things seem to be kind of caving in on Aaron a little bit. He's got to relax a little bit.
The rhythm is gone.
Yeah, a little frustrated.
There's a good pitch, and it's 1-1 to Smith. Trumbo is the on-deck hitter. Morrison after that. And that was a pretty good pitch there, but called the ball.
And that's just the way the night's gone. He's really frustrated now. He's going to kind of show the umpire right there. It was a good pitch, good move.
I think that's
good movement down. Yeah, that was a good pitch. Really good pitch. Maybe at the bottom of the zone. You can see Fegley bringing it up just a little bit. Sometimes that's a bad thing. That kind of tips off the umpire. You know, that it might have been a little bit low. But still, that was a really good pitch.
Shallow left. Leidendorf hustling in, and he's going to get there. Leidendorf with good speed had to run a long ways, but he made the play.
It was 2 quality pitches right there. I know he wanted the one before, but came back with another sinker down in the zone. And that's where he needs to live.
So with 1 out, here's Trumbo.
And this is what young pitchers have to do. Don't have their best stuff. They got to learn to pitch without their best stuff. You may go out there probably of 30, 35 starts, 10 starts, you might have your best stuff. The rest of the time, you got aches and pains and stuff just isn't there. You got to learn how to pitch with your B stuff sometimes.
Trumbo fouled out. That was in the second inning. Trumbo, when he came over to Seattle, really struggled, but hitting the ball much better lately. And there's a base hit left field. Romero had to make sure it went through, so he's going to go to third and stop there. Another hit. That's 5 hits in this inning for Seattle. And Bob Melvin cannot wait any longer as He's going to go to Pat Venditti. So Aaron Brooks was given runs early. He's given some of them back. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts.
Priority seating and choose your exact seating location for next season. The A's offer a variety of full and partial season plans that qualify for great benefits, including half-price parking, a flexible ticket exchange program, and more. For more information, call 510-638-GO-A's or visit athletics.com/2016.
Logan Morrison.
So a key point in the game, 5-3. Brooks goes 2 1/3. 6 hits, 3 runs so far, but the bases are loaded. So it's Venditti against Morrison.
And Bob stuck with Aaron as much as he can, but he definitely needed to make that move right there.
Morrison out in front, hooks it down the right field line, fair. 1 run scores, 2 runs score, and it's going to be second and third, and this game is tied 5-5. Morrison out in front just a little bit. When it's all said and done, it's a 2-run double.
And this is the way Seattle's just been swinging the bats lately. They're hot, get a hanging slider,
Brad Miller.
into a lefty, out in front just a little bit, hooks it down the line. And the M's are just putting together good at bats, and they were down 5-0, 4-0, and before you know it, tie ball game.
So here's Brad Miller. Second and third, 1 out, 4 runs in. So each team with a 4-run inning. Miller out in front just a little bit, and it's 0-2. John Hicks is your on-deck hitter. He's a right-handed hitter. The numbers for Venditti appearing in his 15th game. 1-2, 3.78 ERA. Little emergency swing, but Brad Miller is able to pull it off.
These are the games as managers just drive you crazy.
Oh.
I meant the emotions that are. I know Lloyd didn't look kind of disgusted the first few innings. Bob was feeling pretty good. Now they've switched seats.
Well, and plus, you're into your bullpen. It's the 3rd inning.
Right.
In Bob's case, you've
and if you
given
look
back a 4-0 lead.
You look at both of the bullpens. There's plenty of pitches to go. So
that's a good thing. It's better to be September than in August.
Yes. Yeah, if it had been August, Aaron's might still be out there just having to take one for the team.
So 2-2 the count. Trumbo at third, Morrison at second. And now 3-2. Loop, left field. Lindorf, it's over his head. 2 runs are going to score. Miller with a double, 7-5 Seattle. I didn't think he hit it that hard. I was incorrect. He hit it hard enough, and Lindorf with a little bit of a poor route to that ball.
Yeah, it's a good piece of hit. He stayed on a slider, drove it the other way. He was going to get the run in no matter what, but Leidendorf with a kind of started in, took a little bad route, not the route you'd want to see, and maybe it carried a little bit more than he thought it was going to. Maybe he thought he had hit it off the end of the bat too, but that ball had some carry to it.
So Miller has 3 RBIs tonight, and here's John Hicks, 9th man to hit in the inning. So quickly up is Leon. Arnold Leon, excuse me. Strike in the outside corner, 1-1 to count. There's the ugly number, the 6. Venditti ahead 1-2.
It's got to be pretty frustrating for the A's hitters. They go ahead and put up some runs early and feeling pretty good about themselves, and they got to stay focused and just say, hey, it's going to be one of those nights, boys. Get the bats out, get the helmets ready, let's go.
And that's a good pitch. Gabe Morales making it tough on pitchers tonight. So the count 2-2. Kind of floated on the inner half of the plate. Hicks struck out swinging in the second inning. Way outside, 3-2. Quite an inning. 7 hits, 4 doubles. And this one hit high in the air, shallow left center. And Burns takes control. So 2 outs, and now back to the top of the order. Ketel Marte, who opened up this inning with a double into the right field corner. This inning has gone double, double, single, single, fly out, single, double, double, fly out. So he's a switch hitter. Venditti said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm throwing from the left side. So Marte does the El Switcheroony with the shin guard. Got to get a new helmet. And now we're ready. Slider, that's a good pitch there by Venditti for a strike. Looks like a bundle of energy up there, doesn't he? Ketel Marte.
Yeah. But he's really played under control.
Yeah.
He's got a good on base percentage. He's played a good shortstop.
There's a little There's a little swagger to his game, but I don't, and I say that not too much.
Yes.
Just, you know, he's got a little
good confidence,
spunk. Yep.
Spring training, he had a great spring training. The M's were really impressed with him. I didn't think they felt at that time that he was going to be the shortstop, but they're going to give him every opportunity to do it.
Foul straight back.
It's amazing. There's a lot of switch hitters in the game that their swings look completely different. To me, his looks the same. The setup is the same. He's got the high hands. He's got the same path to the ball. Very rare.
Strike 3 called on the inside corner. So finally the inning comes to an end. A 6 spot for Seattle. So we're going to the bottom of the 3rd. It's now the Mariners 7 and the A's 5. California.com as our A's insider Joe Stiglitz provides wire-to-wire reporting for this 2015 season. He's got breaking news, video, special features, and more. It's only on CSNCalifornia.com. So it's now 7-5. Mariners lead, bottom of the 3rd. Jose Ramirez got the final 2 outs in the 2nd inning. Fernando Abad starts to throw. Two and one. Smolinski had a base hit in the 1st inning. A's with 6 hits, Mariners with 8. It's the bottom of the 3rd inning. So to say there's been a lot going on in the first 2.5 innings would be an understatement. That's a strike. So 2-2 the count. Butler to follow, and then Leidendorf. Wape starts to throw. Foul territory. Morrison hustling over, and he cannot quite get it. Good hustle by Logan Morrison. So 3-2. High fastball fouled right back to the screen. Well, with all the pitchers in the bullpen, we're going to see a lot of them tonight.
Yeah, I think you're going to see everybody at least one inning. Hopefully you find a guy who can stretch you out a little bit, but I'm going to go bullpen by committee tonight, and everybody gets some work.
So Smith goes back just a little bit. He makes the play. One out here in the bottom of the third. And that'll bring up Butler, who walked in that first inning when the A's scored 4 on the Valencia grand slam. Butler takes that little slider from Ramirez, slips it in there for a strike.
His edge looked pretty good tonight. He's getting that slider over. Yeah, we haven't even seen his changeup, which is his best pitch. He's staying out of the middle with that heater. Just looks a little bit more comfortable in a Mariner uniform than he did in a Yankee uniform.
Well, he's got good size. Stuff is there. Right side foul by Butler, so the count even at 2-2. The Angels lead the Rangers 2-0 in the 5th inning down in Anaheim. Perez and Richards, the two pitchers there. And the Astros have won their game. They beat the Twins 8-0. Butler shoots it foul. The Twins right in the thick of that AL wild card race, so they lose.
And who would imagine that series being important in first week of September?
It's a good call. Twins now 2 behind the Rangers for the second wild card. Marte has it, throws to Morrison, who digs it out. So 2 away here in the bottom of the third.
Now batting, left fielder, number 25, Tyler Leidendorf.
And Leidendorf will step in. Leidendorf reached on a fielder's choice in that first inning. Fastball first strike at 96 miles an hour. Seth Smith hustling over toward the line. He's got it. So Jose Ramirez, a shutdown inning, 3 up, 3 down inning, and it's 7-5 Mariners after 3.
6:05 p.m. game for the final fireworks show of the season that celebrates Green Day's induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. East Bay natives and longtime A's fans will be in attendance for a special pregame presentation, followed by a postgame fireworks show set to the music of this iconic rock band. Fans are invited to watch the show from the field, but please note, space is limited.
So it is the top of the fourth inning, 7-5. Mariners lead the A's.
Leading off the top of the fourth inning for Seattle.
Kyle Seager's going to lead it off. We got a new pitcher. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. Fernando Abad steps in and steps to the mound. He's 2-2, 3.76 ERA, and appearance number 52. First pitch strike. Third pitcher of the night already for the A's, Fernando Abad. So Venditti goes 2/3 of an inning, gives up a run. Jumps ahead of Seager 0-2. Seager has walked, and then in the third inning he doubled in a run and scored. Tony Zych starts to throw. Outside, 1-2. Hit hard, base hit, right center field. Seager with a big turn, but he'll stop. So that is hit number 9.
Yeah, and they're seeing the ball really good. This is a good at bat. Kyle facing a lefty, fastball up in the zone.
Now batting, number 17.
Good little load.
Romero.
Little leg kick, gets the foot down. Swinging a really hot bat right now. They don't even have their best hitter in the lineup tonight.
Nope. Romero had a big hit in that third inning. And he drives with right center. That's hit pretty well. Burns on the move, and it is gone. Stephan Romero with a 2-run homer. And it's 9-5 Seattle.
That was pretty impressive, young man.
That was impressive.
It's not easy to do here in Oakland at nighttime. Get an opportunity to play. Get the fastball away. Middle away. Stays on it. Man, good looking swing. They are taking some healthy swings tonight. I think you got to start. If you're a pitcher, you got to start moving some feet. They're way too comfortable in the box right now. I'm not saying you got to hit anybody, but make them move their feet in the box. Think about it.
Cano has hit into a double play, and he has singled and scored. Pokes that one foul down the left field line. So Cano, another Mariners hitter who struggled early, but has been much better as of late. A little bit inside. Cano was a little bit banged up early as well, but since July 1st, 339. And you were the first one to tell us, Xavi, we had the Mariners and the A's earlier this year, that he just was not feeling great.
Yeah, and I didn't know that. That wasn't really out there in the media, so I apologize to Robbie if that wasn't supposed to be, but Robbie's never going to make excuses, and that's not what he was doing. You know, I kind of just approached him and hey, what's going on, and what do you feel up there? And said he had some illness, had trouble keeping on weight, and you know, obviously he started to feel better, and he's put back 15 pounds, 12 to 15 pounds, I think he said. So it was, you know, what you see sometimes with players and their numbers, and it's not always the whole story. There's, like everybody's life, there's things that go on behind the scenes too.
So the count remains 2-2 to Robinson Cano.
Talk about Mark Trumbo. He was struggling, and I had mentioned that Mark's one of those guys that likes to feel comfortable. It took him some time when he went from Anaheim to Arizona, and he started swinging the bat really well. He came to Seattle, got traded, and really struggled for the first few months with them, and now he's hot again. He had a good series in Houston. He's comfortable with his teammates. You can see him talking to hitting coach Edgar Martinez right now, so they're building on that relationship.
Good battle here, Abad and Cano. Cano hits one high in the air, Burns to his right, knees under it, and that's the first out here in the top of the 4th inning.
Even on that swing right there, he saw the ball really good. His eyes lit up with that slider curveball. Just missed it. Put a good swing on it.
Smith.
2 strikes. Robbie's got that load. Gets into that front hip. Head down. Just missed it. Put a good swing in it. Seeing it good.
So here's Seth Smith, another left-handed hitter. Slider is low. Angels have added another run. It's now 3-0 Angels over the Rangers in the 6th inning. Everything else is final in the American League. Good slider there, 1-1. Smith has walked and scored, and he has hit a fly ball to left field.
Yeah, at home, if you watch some hitters, their takes will tell you a lot about how they're seeing the ball too. You could see those first 2 curveballs by Seth. He kind of, with his right elbow, kind of buckles out of the way as to say he's not really seeing it out of Abad's hand.
More action for Burns. About the same spot. And Billy grabs it. So with 2 outs, Mark Trumbo will step in. So we'll see if that chat he had with Edgar Martinez helps him in the sit back.
Number 35, Mark Trumbo.
Trumbo, a foul out, and then he singled and scored in that 6-run 3rd inning. Changeup up and away to Trumbo.
I think he hit a ball in Houston and hit the train. The front side of the train.
I can see him do it. He's got that kind of power. Just maybe looking for some consistency.
Well, he's a power hitter. I mean, he's never hit for a good average. He's got a good tight swing. He can hit the ball the other way, hit it out of all fields.
Remember a couple years ago when he was with the Angels, he had a terrific first half. But then he went 2-month slump where he just could not shake it.
Yeah.
But he's a threat. There's no doubt about that. He had some good years with the Angels.
And I think it's important for a team to have guys that can carry a team by themselves for a few weeks at a time. And you just kind of deal with the slumps of a Mark Trumbo or like an Adam Dunn, guys who strike out a lot. But when they get hot, they just need one hitter in the lineup to carry a team, and There's not a lot of guys in the league that can do that.
Now, Trumbo's 3 full years with the Angels. Home runs and RBIs 29 and 87, 32 and 95, 34 and 100. So those are big power numbers. High strikeout numbers as well. But Burns goes back. Still going back. Warning track. He's got it. Side retired. Stephen Romero with a 2-run homer. So the Mariners extend their lead. It's now 9-5 after 3.5 innings. Better California. A busy night on the concourse. Food to get, merchandise to get. Right now, runs to get for the A's. They trail 9-5, and it's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. It's your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. Tony Zick comes in. Spelled Z-Y-C-H, pronounced like it's Z-I-C-K.
And he's had a pretty good year. He's seen time in Double-A, Southern League, Jacksonville, Triple-A, PCL with Tacoma. He's averaging over 10 Ks per 9.
First pitch strike to Marcus Semien. September call up for Seattle. Tony Zick. Slider snaps in there for a strike.
And the advantage definitely goes to these pitchers. I mean, the hitters have no clue what some of these guys got, and kind of hoping somebody saw him somewhere along the lines in minor leagues. And
that is a pretty impressive 3-pitch sequence to Semien.
And that's just really having no idea. I meant he's got a mid-90s fastball with a nasty slider right there.
I remember Eric talking to a veteran hitter one time. He said, I would rather face a veteran with great stuff that I've seen many, many times 100%. As opposed to a young guy with okay stuff, but I've never seen it before and I have no idea what his pitches are doing. Is that true?
A Tony Zick. You do not want to face a guy with a good arm. He's had a pretty good year in the minors. Got no clue what he's tossing out there. Like I said, these pitchers that come up in September nobody knows anything about, advantage.
Two 2-0 to Burns, who has singled and popped out. one missed somewhere, maybe a little low. 3-0. Got a little Sean Doolittle going. Glove up near the face, elbow out. So the 3-0 pitch, 94 miles an hour. So good velocity and good movement from Zick. Zick also spent some time in Double-A this year. And there's the walk. So Burns is aboard.
Now batting.
And now Canna will hit.
Number 20, Mark Canna.
Canna has reached on an error. He has singled and he has scored a couple of runs so far. Runner goes. The throw is in time and they got it. So Cano had to move up the line a little bit to take the throw, but he was able to get the tag down on Burns.
Yeah, for a second there, I thought Burns was going to argue this, but he kind of just got up right away. He must. Oh, he felt the tag. He felt the tag of Robbie before he hit the bag, so he knew right away. I would have liked to see Burns maybe see his move 1 or 2, 3 pitches before he decided to go. You just never know what a guy's got. Down 9-5, you don't like giving away outs right there.
1-1 to Canna. Good slider again. With a sharp downward movement on that slider.
Nasty.
In at 95 miles an hour. A lot of movement in every pitch from Tony Zick.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of confidence up there too. He's got good mount presence, and he's running 95 in off the hands of Mark. Just late movement. He missed his spot, but good enough movement. When you have good stuff like that, you can get away with some pitches. And he's got a hard slider that dives away from the righties and a sinker that runs into him.
Got him swinging. So pretty good inning for Tony Zick. Couple of strikeouts, gets a little help from his catcher, and we're on to the 5th. Mariners 9, A's 5.
baseball? Enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay reviews, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcast, and more. Get the MLB.com at-bat app now.
Just married, starting it all at the ballpark. Nothing wrong with that. Top of the 5th inning. It'll be Morrison, Miller, and Hicks. Bottom 3 in the order. Mariners with 1 in the 2nd, 6 in the 3rd, and 2 in the 4th. Morrison's had a good night, single, and then in the 3rd inning a 2-run double, and he scored in that inning as well, so he's 2 for 2. And he went around, tried to hold up on a pitch that was down and away. Pitch on the outside corner, 2-2. Bullpens are quiet, so maybe Bob Melvin try to get one more inning out of Fernando Abad. Couple of lefties up. Foul back. Fastball a little bit in.
Abad with a good fastball right there. He's really picked up with some velocity the last few months. He really struggled at low velocity, low 90s. You know, last year he was 93 to 95. This year he's been 89 to 92, and hopefully he's regaining that good live fastball.
Off of Abad, right to Valencia, who throws in time to get Morrison. So let's hope Abad's okay.
Well, as long as you get the out, you're feeling okay. It's a good play right here by Valencia. Fields the ball, takes his time, has good quick feet, moves his feet to first. Looks like it hit him on the bottom of the shoe. You see that good footwork by Valencia right there, setting his feet, then getting him turned right away.
So 1 away here in the 5th. Brad Miller, he's had a good night. Sac fly in the 2nd, 2-run double in the 3rd, so he's got 3 RBIs. Giving him 40 on the year. Getting out of the A spot tonight for Seattle. 0-2. Rangers have scored a run. It's the Angels 3, the Rangers 1 in the 6th inning. Abad now at 30 pitches. They gave up the 2-run homer to Romero in the 4th inning. Extra work tonight for Fernando Abad.
Couple of the Mariners going with the Sox.
Yep.
Sogard and gray Sox. It's a good look. I like that.
I do too.
I don't think
The blue and the gray looks good.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that like from a Mariner. Those look pretty sweet.
I think I'd wear those under a sport coat. They're dress pants. Another foul ball. Foul ball alley. Busy tonight. Trying to finish off Miller, having a tough time doing it. And now it's a full count. He went with the slider that time.
Yeah, I could see just the difference in the quality at bats. The last time we saw Mariners, they were giving away at bats. Now they're fighting down 0-2. He's got it back to 3-2 now. Regardless of what happens, to me this is already a good at bat. Not giving away at bats. They're up 4.
Slider, slapped foul. Yeah, this is a good at bat. Lefty on lefty, and Abad can be tough on lefties at times. To the screen with a fastball, 92 miles an hour.
Yeah, you just keep fouling off these tough pitches. The pitch before was a 3-2 slider. Did a good job of staying back, fouling it off. Right there, he comes back with a 92 fastball in off his hands, and he's able to get to it and fight till he makes the mistake.
And he missed upstairs, so that is a heck of an at bat for Miller. 10-pitch at bat, and he gets the walk.
As a hitting coach, that's what you love to see. I mean, you just want to see your guys, regardless, even for the A's side, don't give away at bats. Quality at bats. Swing at strikes, make them earn it. That's how you become a good player. You constantly are going up there, and you don't have to go 4 for 4 every night, but you got to give good quality at bats, even if you get out. Make the pitcher work.
So I think a lot of people feel, I think the Mariners feel this way too, that Miller, if you give him the time, he has a chance to still be a good player.
I think he's going to. Yeah. I was actually going to say that last at bat. I think he's going to be a late bloomer. He's got power in that swing. He's got speed. Obviously, he's versatile. He goes from shortstop to center. But I like him. There's a lot of things to like about his tools. He's got a good arm.
Swing and a miss, and it's 1-1 to John Hicks, the catcher. His third at bat. Hicks struck out in the second and hit a fly ball to center in the third. Fernando Rodriguez pitches. Missed outside, 2-1. 40 pitches now for Fernando Abad.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that Rodriguez wasn't up for this at bat right here. You got the righties coming up, the switch hitter and Marte. There's a lot of pitches for Abad right here. A lot of these guys not used to stretching it out.
Changeup, 2-2, 71 miles an hour. Just kind of floated up there.
Yeah, just pull the string on it. You're right. He slowed down a lot. Got away with a pitch up in the zone.
Driven toward right center. Burns hustling, and he's got it for out number 2. Ball hung up for Burns.
The ball seems to be traveling a little bit. We've seen some balls hit pretty deep. We saw a ball hit over Leidendorf's head, and that one traveled a pretty good distance, and Billy Speed able to run it down.
Marte.
Top of the order, Ketel Marte, who has reached on an air, doubled and struck out. He scored a run in the third. In fact, he doubled and scored and struck out in the third. He batted twice. Hitting from the right side. Runner goes. Throw to second base. Got it. Good throw by Fegley, and Miller's thrown out trying to steal to end the top of the 5th inning. So bottom of the 5th inning coming up. Laurie to lead it off, and the A's are trailing 9-5.
Presented by Chevron Techron Advantage Credit Card. On Monday, September 7th, 15,000 fans will receive this stylish backpack modeled after the preferred footwear of Sonny and Sogard. Get your Labor Day tickets now at athletics.com/tickets or by calling 877-493-BALL.
Bottom of the 5th, some work to do for the A's. They trail 9-5. Let's play a third by Seager. Throws across the diamond, and on one pitch, Laurie's retired. It's a nice play by the Gold Glover.
Yeah, very nice play. This was not easy. You got that in-between hop, that short hop, and got that soft gloved hand. Not a lot of movement with that glove. Keep it still. Gold Glove winner last year, 2014. Good player.
Sean Doolittle throwing for the A's. And here's Valencia. Grand slam in the 1st inning. And then a ground out in the 2nd inning. But right now, the A's have not had a hit since the 2nd inning, and that was Laurie's RBI double. 8 of the last 9 have been retired. The only base runner is Burns' walk, and Valencia shoots one right up the middle for a hit.
I don't even know if this feels like today's ball game, but this was in the 1st inning. After that miscue at third base with Walsh and Burns and Valencia taking a fastball opposite field. It's a very good hitter. Great pickup by the A's. Hitting 4th in the lineup, doing everything good right now.
So 7 hits for the A's, 10 hits for the Mariners. And here's Fegley for his 3rd at bat. Fegley a ground out and a strikeout so far. Facing Tony Zick. Curveball for a strike.
Fegley really has done a nice job this year. He's thrown out runners. He's blocking balls. For a guy that not a lot of people had heard about, he really has shown this year what he's capable of doing.
Just a hanging slider there. 0-2.
It's a good thing, you know. Vogt's been battling the injuries, even though he was the All-Star this year. He's been battling some injuries, out with the elbow tonight, and it's a nice backup catcher to have here.
Swing and a miss. Good fastball at 95 miles an hour. So on 3 pitches, Fegley's retired. That's 3 strikeouts for Zick.
This was a live fastball. He's got a great arm. Fastball away. He's got a little head whack to go with it, too. Just blows it right by him.
We'll see what Smolinski does with Tony Zick. First pitch, inside corner for a strike. Moving down and in to Smolinski. Smolinski a single and a fly ball to right field. And he drives one left field, hit well. Romero's back, and Romero makes a nice running catch. Bounces up against the wall. Side is retired. Hitting a runner left, so we're on to the 6th inning. 9-5. Seattle leads. Photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to CSNCA Data Strong Fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's all brought to you by T-Mobile. Those folks did not submit a photo, but Salvador Flores did. We appreciate Salvador sending in Ivan and Luz Alina at the Coliseum, and that was Mark McGuire bobblehead night. Sean Doolittle's in, and he is pitcher number 4 for the A's. So for Doolittle, it is appearance number 5 this year. He's looked much better the last couple appearances. We always like to, fair or not, we always look at the velocity of Sean Doolittle. And I say always, I mean since he's come back from the injury.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, it's just kind of what we do with Sean. When he was pitching last year, I mean, it was 94, 95 miles an hour. This year, it's been upticking a little bit to 92, 93 lately.
And that's what you want to see. I mean, a lot of it, too, probably is his confidence.
Diving attempt by Smolinski, but it's a foul ball.
You know, you come back and maybe you want to baby it a little bit and you're quite not sure.
This is his last outing, and it was Sunday. He was very good. Velocity was up.
Yeah, and his fastball was live. I mean, I know his velocity was 93, but it wasn't flat. It was coming out with some heat on it, and it's a good sign for the A's.
2-2 the count to Ketel Marte. And there's the fastball, 94 miles an hour, and he gets the strikeout. The numbers last year for Doolittle when he was an all-star. 89 strikeouts and 8 walks in 62 innings, 22 saves overall. So he was terrific.
And the way he pitches too. I mean, he challenges hitters with that fastball. He's coming at you, and he throws middle of the zone, middle out, right there. So he's got to have that little zip. If he's at 90, 91, he may not be able to get away with that.
Seager is 2 for 2. Single, double, walk, RBI, and 2 runs scored. Simeon playing behind the second base bag. This one's popped up, should be playable. Valencia. A step into foul territory. He's got it. Seager is gone, 2 outs. So for the first time, the A's retire Kyle Seager. And now it's Romero.
Batting, number 17, Stephen Romero.
Tell you what, Romero's looked pretty good tonight. He got that single up the middle for the RBI. He got the home run. And that play that he made last inning, he just kind of went back like it was nothing.
I think that was a tougher play than he made it look.
He did. I thought that was a sure double, and he's just coasting back there and got a good read off the bat.
He's got a single, a homer, and 3 RBIs. There's a strike, and it's only 2. Rangers got a run in the top of the 7th, so it's now the Angels 3, Rangers 2, bottom of the 7th in Anaheim. 2 pitch foul to the screen. This is the home run by Romero in the 4th inning, and it was impressive going the other way.
Yeah, very impressive. Showing pretty good pop. It wasn't exactly the location that Abad wanted, but still, he didn't miss it. Drove it out of here.
Each team with a home run tonight. A slider for the first time from Doolittle.
Yeah, and you can just tell he's pitching with more confidence. He's up there just letting it rip, letting it go. Tough thing to do to come back from Tommy John surgery, shoulder issues.
So a full count to Romero. If Romero to work where to get on, Cano would hit next. They're ready. Another foul ball just to our right. Infield defense straight away. Outfield just a slight shade toward right center. This one hit high and foul down the right field line. Well back into the seats.
Did you guys get a chance to face Daniel Hudson when they were in Arizona?
You know what? He did not pitch.
He didn't.
He was one of the few that did not pitch.
Yeah, and I saw him the other day. He's coming off 2 Tommy Jacks.
Well, he's been pitching well.
He hit 100. I just marvel at that.
Strike 3 called on the inside corner. So another good inning for Doolittle as he has a couple of strikeouts, and we are going to the bottom of the 6th. 9-5 Seattle leads.
fastball away, drives it the other way, continues to be hot. Then Logan Morrison facing Venditti, left on left, double down the right field line. And Miller going with the double to the left. And in that third inning, 7 hits, 4 doubles for the Mariners. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PICK-ATT, mobilizing your world.
And Tony Zick back out there, Xavi, for his 3rd inning of work. He's been impressive. He's got 3 strikeouts in his first 2 innings, 23 pitches.
Yeah, and he may just be out there to face a hitter or two because he's not used to being extended like this.
And his stuff has been sharp. I could see him being tough on right-handed hitters.
Both. He's tough on both. You got a light fastball and a good slider. You can throw down and into the lefties, down and away with that sinker. I promise you, he hasn't pitched 3 innings this year in relief. Most of these guys that come up have good stuff, and they're usually pitching at the back end of the bullpens.
A righty and a lefty for the Mariners. Three and 1. Butler has walked and he has grounded to short so far tonight. Coco Crisp has come out into the on-deck circle. Good swing by Butler. He got a fastball on 3-1 at 95 miles an hour. He's had 6 hits in the first 2 innings. They have 1 hit in the last 3 innings.
I bet you we won't even see him the rest of the series.
There's that slider off the tarp. Well, what he's done so far, Sick and Jose Ramirez as well, is they've calmed the game down for the Mariners and allowed them to take the lead.
Yes. Yeah, the A's threw the first punch, but they've definitely come back and winning the battle right now.
Driven to right center. That's hit well. Miller's going back, and it is off the wall. Miller grabs it, hustles it back in, but not before Butler has a leadoff double here in the 6th.
I'll tell you what, some of these right-hand hitters tonight are definitely doing the right approach. You got a slider. We've seen Billy be on time a lot with a fastball and a slider. Gets that good load, foot down, sees it out. And the ball seems to be traveling pretty good to the right center field area tonight. Good approach.
So Coco will hit here in the 6th inning. He's hitting for Leidendorf. Coco at 154 with a couple of RBIs. 16 hits and 104 at bats for Coco with 5 doubles.
The scorecard's pretty full. I don't think it's ever been this full.
Grounded up the middle. Marte throws, and Coco's safe. Morrison came off the bag, and now the A's have some action here in the 6th.
Yeah, ball up the middle. Coco gets jammed. Marte gets over there pretty good. Gets his body in position. Turns himself. Turns his body right there. You can see. And at the last minute before he threw it, he picked up the runner. I think that's where it went wrong. If he would have just kept his eyes on the target, pick up the first baseman, know who's running. You already know Coco's a fast runner, so there's no reason to have to look at him running up the line. But Marte kind of peeked at Coco a little bit and took his eyes off the target. That's probably why the bad throw had happened.
So we got a new pitcher coming in. We'll tell you about him when we get back. 9-5 Mariners lead.
On the X1 operating system.
A's will celebrate their 17th annual Breast Cancer Awareness Day, presented by Zevia, the zero-calorie soda, and supported in part by Athena Bottled Water, Nelson Staffing, America Bank, and the State Roofing Systems of San Leandro. Prior to the game, 10,000 fans will receive a breast cancer awareness scarf, courtesy of Zevia. To join the fight, purchase your special tickets now at athletics.com/survivor.
So 9-5. But the A's have something going. And pitcher number 4 comes in, Michael Guipe. Big right-hander. And the first pitch slider to Simeon's foul back. Ten appearances for Guipe, 0-3 with a 6.75 ERA. Games for AAA Tacoma. ERA at 3, 5 saves. That one is drilled to the gap. Nobody's gonna get it. 1 run scores. Here comes Coco digging around third. He's gonna score, and Simeon with a stand-up triple. And it's 9-7.
Just keep the line moving, boys. This was going to be an offensive night. We could see that early. A's coming back in the 6th inning right here. Double, single, now triple. A homer shy of the cycle for the inning. Good piece of hitting by Marcus right there. Head down, drives it the other way. We talked about the right-hand hitters going the other way in the gap today, and Marcus just follows it up with a triple.
His 5th triple of the year. And for the A's, their 34th triple, most by an A's team since 1985. Billy Burns a lot to do with that. Burns has 8. Reddick's got 4.
Yeah, right out of the box, his head down. He's thinking triple right now. Center fielder was shaded over a little bit. Marcus showing his speed, getting the third. Nobody out.
Burns chops one near second base. Guipe hesitates. Everybody's safe, and a run comes in to score. Once Marte hesitated, you knew Burns had a pretty good shot to make it, and now it's 9-8.
Yeah, and I read some quotes from Lloyd, and he was talking about Marte and knowing that they're going to have to go through growing pains with him. This was a pretty easy ground ball up the middle. He knew who was running. Burns was getting down the line. He actually, I was clocking right there. He got down the line in 3.8 seconds, which is extremely fast. But he just hurried a little bit, rushed the throw, got stuck. The grip was off just a little bit, and Billy beat it out.
So 4 consecutive hits by the A's, and 3 runs are in. A little juggle right here. He just didn't have it, so he had to kind of reload, and that's all it took. Another infield hit for Billy Burns, number 34. He may go here. Why not? You got the pitcher a little bit rattled.
That was a good pitch.
Well, the RBI for Burns, his 32nd. And there goes Burns. No, he stops and goes back.
Yeah, if you go, you definitely want to be committed. Last time he tried to steal, he got thrown out. Maybe a little gun shy right there. But I do like your call. Be aggressive. Go ahead, take advantage of it.
Pitches a strike, throw to second base. Not in time. Stolen base number 26 for Burns. And he's there with nobody out.
Yeah, this was the difference. He had a couple looks this time at Guape. The last time he tried to go, caught stealing off a zitch. He went first pitch, didn't really know what type of move he had, how quick he was to home plate. He just took off first pitch and he was thrown out. And that play was actually a little bit closer than it looked like initially.
Well, and again, it was, if you watch the front leg of Burns, it's up. And then watch it go up, and then it comes down, and the tag is, it's very close.
Yeah, it's very close, and you're right with the foot up. Base stealers, you want to keep that foot down, low to the bag. So many times, base runners get caught with that foot up in the air, and Cano almost able to get the tag down. Keep that front foot down.
That's close, boy. Again, it's
you can't overturn
initially
it.
Ruled safe.
Oh, they did challenge it.
But what you really want to do, you really want to slide right into the end of that bag.
Yeah.
Keep that front leg straight.
Yeah.
As straight as you can. But I get the leg coming up, even if it comes up a little bit, it's almost like a natural reaction because there's a leg underneath that's that's turned, and the one on top that's going to come up a little bit.
Believe it or not, sliding it's an art. You got to practice.
No question.
You definitely got to practice it. I mean,
and now that there's instant replay, you realize that a lot of guys don't slide well.
Yeah, and not only that, they'll slide by the bag, maybe take their hand off the bag. But it's an art. You definitely got to work at it. You got to practice it. You got to perfect it. I mean, we all know Ricky Henderson head dives, but he always was low to the bag, stayed down. A lot of base stealers nowadays don't like to go head first because of the hands, which I think is smart too. But if he keeps that right foot down, it's a easy no call. I don't think they can overturn this anyway. That's too close. And like we see in the initial call,
it's kind of tough to see exactly when Cano's glove touched Burns' jersey. That's the part that, to me, seems a little bit difficult.
He's safe. Oh, my goodness. I don't know about that.
I don't either.
Wow.
I just don't know that, at least, and the replays that we saw, I just don't see anything jumping out that made him clearly out.
I don't either. I don't like that call. Just the way things have gone with the instant replay and the initial call stands so many times. Good tag by Robbie. I mean, he's
stay with it, right?
Yeah, quick hands.
Well, that, in the grand scheme of this game, is a huge call.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, that is a huge call. It would have been a runner at second, the tying run with nobody out.
Right.
Instead, the bases are empty and there's one out. Three and two to Canna. Canna's 1 for 3 with a couple of runs scored. And there's the walk.
Yeah, that definitely hurts. I mean, 2 caught stealings. Definitely don't want to be giving away outs, especially with the offense that's being put up. Keep the line moving. Hey, that jump, I didn't think it was even going to be close. No. I thought he had a great jump.
So Laurie hits. Big swing by Laurie. Angels have scored twice in the bottom of the 7th. Angels 5, Rangers 2. Angels still batting in the bottom of the 7th. Inside. Guaipe has been a little bit all over the place. Kinsing and Rasmussen, righty and a lefty in the bullpen.
Got a feeling with all these runs tonight, it's going to come down to one run.
Of course.
It's going to come down to the bullpens.
And just looking at the Mariners bullpen, they have 10 relievers down there, 6 righties, 4 lefties. Hit hard to Seager, out at second and out at first, and that's double play. But the A's get 3 runs, and they are right back in this. It's now Seattle 9, the A's 8 after 6 innings. So we got a ball game, folks. Stick around. What a moment. Scott Hatteberg, the walk-off home run against the Royals, gave the A's their 20th consecutive win, setting an American League record. That was quite a night. Eric Chavez is in there somewhere, right?
No.
No?
Oh, I was up in the clubhouse. I just had a thing where I had to watch the late games up on the TV. I couldn't bear it.
So you're in the clubhouse watching. You had just seen an 11-run lead disappear.
Yeah, it was a good luck thing for me being up there.
What a night.
But I wasn't superstitious at all, though.
Doesn't sound like it. What a night. So here's Ryan Dull, his 3rd appearance. He's been impressive in his first 2. Speaking of impressive, Doolittle with an inning and a couple of strikeouts. So it'll be Cano, Smith, and Trumbo here in the top of the 7th inning. It's now 9-8.
And you can see the confidence that Bob and Kurt Young having this young man right here. He's throwing the ball really well. He's got good confidence up there on the mound, good fastball, and a good slider.
Laurie has it, fires to first. Nice play, Brett Laurie. Laurie ranging to his left, taking a hit away from Cano. Cano's done that to a few people, so.
Right back at you, Robbie.
Yeah,
this was a tough play. It was that slider. Robbie out in front hooked it. And Brett just playing a really nice second base. Ever since he's gone over there, he's looked pretty comfortable. He's getting more comfortable as he gains experience. Takes away a hit from Robbie.
So Seth Smith steps in. He's 0 for 2 with a walk and a run score. Fouls out back. Last runs for the Mariners was Romero's 2-run homer in the 4th inning. It's now the 7th. Good fastball outside corner, 0-2.
I was kind of talking about this earlier too, with Doolittle having life on his fastball. Ryan at 91, but it's coming out good. It's coming out live.
Two to Smith. Here it is. Let's get down the left field line. Fall. Doll started the season in Double-A. 35 relief appearances for Midland, and then was sent to Triple-A on the 28th of July and made 12 appearances there, and he had a 1.13 ERA. So both of his stops in the minor leagues, he was terrific this year, and it put him on the map, and now he's in the big leagues. Not a big guy, but he's shown a good slider. They get 91 miles an hour, but it's off the plate. 2-2 the count to Smith. A couple of good years with the A's for Seth Smith. And he went around, says Gabe Morales. And Seth Smith says, you got to check. Gabe Morales says, no, I don't. So it's a strikeout, and it's 2 outs here in the 7th inning.
Yeah, as a hitter, man, I understand the
that's not a strike.
Number 35.
All you want to do is just check. It's so hard for an umpire with 2 strikes.
That's not a swing.
I think it should be mandatory. 2 strikes, it should be an automatic check to the third base or first base, depending on the right-hand hitter. But it's so hard to keep your eye on the ball, the strike zone, and the hitter's swing.
It's impossible.
It's too much.
It is.
It's too much.
Dole will take it. 2 away for Trumbo.
You got 4 umpires out there. Take advantage of them. Can't challenge a check swing.
I don't think you can. 0-2 and a good fastball down around the knees to Trumbo, who has fouled out, singled and scored, and hit a fly ball to center field. Sharp breaking ball, and Trumbo just got a piece of it. Swing and a miss on a high hard one. So Dole with a couple more strikeouts and another good performance by him. 7th inning stretch time. It's 9-8 Mariners over the A's. On this date in 1993, Jim Abbott, born without a right hand, no hits the Indians at Yankee Stadium. Final score was 4-0. First pinstripe pitcher in a decade to throw a no-hitter. How about that? He was something else. That was 1993. And he spent quite a bit of time with the Angels, but the no-hitter came against the Jim Abbott. Angels, Yankees, White Sox, and Brewers. 4 straight seasons with 200 or more innings. Best season, 1993 with
Hitting off the bottom of the 7th inning for the Athletics.
some good stuff. Jim Abbott.
26.
Wild ball game tonight. Bottom of the 7th inning. Seattle 9, the A's 8. And Logan Kensing comes in. He pitched against the A's last week up in Seattle. He was not necessarily a September call-up. He was called up on the 23rd of August. So he's been in the big leagues a little bit longer than the September call-ups. He throws one pitch. He gets Valencia. So that's out number 1. And now we're going to get a pinch hitter. It's going to be Stephen Vogt. Interesting, was in the original starting lineup, but then was taken out because of soreness in his right elbow. But he's going to hit here as Nuno starts to throw, left-hander. So here comes Vogt. So Vogt will step in. He's hitting .269. He's got 18 home runs. And he's got 67 RBIs. Leads the A's in the home run category. Leads the A's in RBIs as well. And with that move, Lloyd McClendon comes out and Nuno's going to come in. So the wheels are turning here at the Coliseum as we're going to go lefty on lefty. Two of this 3-game series, and there's your matchup. Jesse Chavez and Felix Hernandez. Our coverage begins at 5:30 with A's pregame live, and then at night you get complete coverage on Sportsnet Central and CSNCalifornia.com. Home of A's baseball is CSN. So Hernandez and Chavez tomorrow again. Our coverage starts at 5:30. First pitch 6:05. Final fireworks show of the season is tomorrow night. Severino Nuno comes in, the left-hander, so lefty on lefty. the middle, and it's going to somehow get through in center field. What do they say, Xavi? It had eyes. And those eyes were looking at center field. Yeah. So Stephen Vogt will take it.
Take them all. Every single one of them.
And now Smolinski will hit.
I wonder if the football field kind of helped that bounce through the middle.
So Smolinski, after him, it's Butler. And there is a right-hander warming up in the bullpen. The numbers for Nino. Nino was part of the Trumbo trade from Arizona to Seattle. Carson Smith is down there. And you may be thinking, well, why wouldn't Lloyd McClendon bring Carson Smith in here? But there's Reddick on the bench. Bridie's on the bench. Sogard's on the bench, all left-handed hitters, and part of the decision for either manager.
Well, he wants Carson to pitch the 8th and then hand it over to Wilhelmsen to close it out.
One pitch is high, and the count is 2-1. Smolinski has singled, hit a fly ball to right, and hit a fly ball to left. He's had the tying run at first, and Stephen Vogt here in the bottom of the 7th. Houston Street has come on for the Angels in the top of the 9th, trying to close out the Rangers. Hit well to right field, but Smith is back there, and Smith has it, 2 outs. So then you gets a big out there, and now Butler will hit.
Now batting, designated hitter, number 16, Billy Butler.
Butler has walked, grounded out, and then in the 6th inning, he doubled and scored. He had a line drive toward the gap in right center. And Lloyd McClendon's coming out, and he's going to make the move. So our third pitcher of the inning is going to be Carson Smith, the right-hander. So pitching change. We'll be back.
Longest lasting vehicles in America. Toyota. Let's go places. And by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
So Reddick has come out into the on-deck circle. He's going to hit for Butler, and he's going to face Carson Smith. Carson Smith took over the closer job from Fernando Rodney, but then Smith started to struggle, and he gave up the closer job to Wilhelmsen. So here he's in the 7th inning. He's got good stuff. 13 saves on the year. 76 strikeouts in 58 innings for Carson Smith. First pitch to Reddick is not close, way outside.
I do think Major League Baseball has to take a look at this role with expanding the rosters. And man, you can have a pitcher up every inning. Seattle's had one up since the 3rd.
I agree with you 100%.
Take a look at it, revise it just a little bit.
I just think it's strange to play because you're really playing under different rules.
Yeah, you are.
So you play for 5 months a certain way, and then it really does change the way the game's played. Line drive, base hit. Miller over to cut it off. Gets it in quickly. Vote to third, and he'll stop there. First and third. 2 outs, and it'll be Coco Crisp. So a pinch hit single for Reddick.
Now batting left fielder, number 4, Coco Crisp.
Good piece of hitting coming off the bench, cold. Off a pretty good reliever. Stays on it, drives it the other way. Mr. Hustle, Stephen Vogt. The referee, speed demon, whatever you want to call him.
So now a chance to tie it as Coco steps in. First pitch slider is a strike. Feels like the 9th inning. It's only the 7th inning. There's a line drive. It was foul, but it's grabbed by Morrison, and the side is retired. So the A's strand a pair, and we're on to the 8th inning from the Coliseum. It's the Mariners 9 and the A's 8. So now the 8th inning has arrived. Seattle 9, Athletics 8. Crowd tonight 16,382. It has been a wild game. So Fernando Rodriguez comes in. He is the 6th pitcher for the A's. It's been Brooks, who went just 2 1/3 innings, then Venditti, Abad, Doolittle, Dull, and now Rodriguez. So Stephen Vogt remains in. Takes over for Fegley after pinch hitting for Fegley. So Rodriguez will face Morrison, Miller, and Hicks. First pitch to Morrison is hit foul down the left field line near the bullpen mound, and one hops up into the seats. So a nice play by that young lady.
Another nice job by Ryan Dole. Looks very confident out there. I like that he kind of just resets, commits to his pitch, doesn't think about it, just lets it rip. I think Rodriguez needs to do a little bit of that too. He's got good stuff.
One and one the count. 2 for 3 tonight for Morrison. Single, double, 2 RBIs, and a run score. Good pitch there, 1 and 2. So Shabby, we were kicking around this expanded roster idea, whether we think it's good or not. It doesn't sound like either of us are that crazy about the rule that says you can go up to 40 guys if you want.
You can, yeah.
I mean, nobody does that, obviously. It's usually 3, 4, 5 guys, maybe a couple more. Check swing. Valencia throws, and it's not in time. So Morrison's going to have a check swing infield hit. And he's 3 for 4. Valencia did everything he could do. He made a nice play.
Yeah, Logan gets out of the box pretty good. He runs pretty good for a big guy. Check swing. That might be one where Valencia might want to barehand, do or die barehand play, but he made it close nonetheless. Uses the grass, the wet grass, skips on it. Made it close. Hustling Morrison just beats it out.
Clearly he did beat it. And that'll bring up Miller. I guess what I think, Shabby, is I understand it's a long season, and when September gets here, guys are dragging, bullpen arms are dragging, but
I'm not saying to not expand it.
I say have a limit.
Yeah, have a limit.
You know, maybe 2 pitchers and 1 position player, something like that.
And I've heard of, submitting a lineup every day. I don't know that would work.
Yeah, I agree with you. To be able to just put 10, 11 relievers down there, I don't think
you could go.
I think it hurts the quality of the game.
I do too, completely.
And that's nothing against it's nothing against the players that are being called up and put down in the bullpen. That's not the point. But I say, all right, 2 pitchers you can call up and 1 position play.
Yeah. I do like the idea of having guys come up here in September and get a feel for the major league life, but you're right. The game, it just changes the game a little bit. You go 5 months grinding it out, and you can go batter to batter if you want some 5th inning on.
And we've seen that a little bit tonight. I think there's been moves made tonight, and we're basically talking about the bullpen, obviously, but there's been moves made tonight that if you did not have a 10-man bullpen, you would not make.
Right.
Management.
Right. Exactly.
Miller slats it foul. That's a final now in Anaheim. The Angels beat the Rangers 5-2. Richards got his 13th win. Perez took the loss, and Houston Street got his 32nd save. So that's a big win for the Angels. Crone had 3 hits and all 5 RBIs. So the Angels are now 2.5 games behind the Rangers for that second wild card. Straight back. Yankees won 5-2 over the Rays. Severino, the young starting pitcher, got his 3rd win. He beat Odorizzi. Yankees hit 3 home runs. Bird, McCann, and Alex Rodriguez hit his 27th career home run, number 681 for A-Rod. Miller bounces one up the middle. Simeon, a nice play. His flip to second, and they got it. Heck of a play by Simeon. Almost kind of a blind flip to Laurie.
Yeah, showing the range. This ball was hit hard. It took off right as it hit the dirt. We talked about the football field, and you could see even that bounce. It kind of hopped in him the last second. Marcus stayed with it. Was able to flip it. Got stuck a little bit. Didn't come out completely clean. Just beats the hustling Logan. Very nice play by Marcus.
So 1 out, fielder's choice for Miller, and here's Hicks. The Orioles beat the Blue Jays tonight 10-2. Let's take another look at this play. It's worth another look. Just kept his foot on the bag, did Laurie. See, Mark Carlson was looking right at it. I mentioned that Blue Jays score. The Orioles winning 10-2. So Toronto loses, Yankees win. The Blue Jays lead in the AL East now is a half a game over the Yankees. Yankees have won 6 out of their last 7. They get their 75th win. 17 games over 500. Swing and miss. Good high fastball from Rodriguez. Astros shut out the Twins 8-0. Colin McHugh got his 15th win. Rasmussen Conger homered. Conger had a grand slam. That was in Houston. So with the Astros winning and the Rangers losing, the Astros now have a 3-game lead in the AL West. So not a good night for the Rangers. They lose ground in the division. And the Angels creep a little closer to the Rangers in that wild card. Pitch out, nothing going on. 1-1 to count.
What a shot in the arm too, getting Springer back for Houston.
That's right. He had a hit tonight. He got a hit in his first at bat. Just having him back in the lineup's a big deal.
Yeah, difference maker for sure. Just a presence.
1-1 to John Hicks, who's hit a couple of fly balls to center field, and he has struck out. Runner goes, pitch out. Vegley's throw is in time. They'll make that vote, slipped after he threw, and he ended up face down in the dirt in front of home plate, but he was still able to throw out Miller. So nice play by Stephen Vogt.
Yeah, it did. I don't know if he did slip right there, but he almost took out Rodriguez on the mound where he had a duck. He used the grass. 1 hop right to Simeon. Good tag. 2 pitch outs in a row, and yeah, he did kind of slipped in the dirt.
And watching Brad Miller, the way he was looking in, it almost makes you think that he thought it was a hit and run and Hicks didn't swing, because he looked back a couple times after he was tagged like, why didn't you swing it? It could have been.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think you go straight still right there if you're Seattle for Logan.
So 3-2 to John Hicks. Another foul ball right side. Looking at that Angels game, the Angels are now 9-4 against the Rangers this year. Those two teams will finish the season with a 4-game series in Texas. How about that?
It's going to be a good September. Very exciting. Both weeks.
Another 3-2 pitch. And a miss. He struck him out. So side retired, and we are going to the bottom of the 8th. It's the Mariners 9 and the A's 8. And 1 for Seattle. 8-13-1 for the Athletics. Crazy ball game. A's led 4-0. They led 5-1, but then the Mariners with that 6th spot in the 3rd. So neither starting pitcher lasted real long tonight as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. So a couple more shots for the A's. They scored 3 in the 6th to get back in it, and they had a shot last inning. 1st and 3rd, 2 outs, but Carson Smith came in. Got Coco Crisp, and now Smith is back out there for the 8th. Simeon, Burns, and Canna. First pitch to Marcus, slider and a good first strike. Tap towards Seager. Seager quickly to his left, and he throws out Marcus Simeon, 1 out. So Seager, I think he was hugging the line a little bit.
Yeah, definitely no doubles. Marcus rolls it over. Pretty easy play right there for Seager.
So top of the order, and Billy Burns. Single, pop out, walk, single. He's got a run scored and an RBI to go with his 2 hits. That's the good slider from Carson Smith.
It's a really good one.
3/4 delivery. kind of jumps at you with his delivery. He's a big guy. So you can see where he could be a very good closer.
Well, they tried him a little earlier this year in that role, and I think they like him better here in the setup role in the 8th inning.
Miller got a good jump, and there's that athleticism by Miller. Again, he's learning how to play center field, so that's not an easy play. So 2 outs. Let's check out the motion.
Now batting first baseman, number 20, Mark Canha.
Yeah, pretty funky stuff going on. But that slider's nasty. Billy slaps the ball in the gap there, and you're right. Miller's going to be taking better routes as he's out there more frequently, but able to run that ball down right there.
So 2 outs for Canha. Well, that one almost hits Canha. Canha 1 for 3. He's been on base 3 times. Air, single, and a walk. Scored a couple of runs.
It's a little odd that he was playing that far in off of Billy. I know Billy doesn't have too much power, but if that ball gets past him, that's a triple. You have Seager's and no doubles. A little odd to see him where he was playing Billy right there.
And there's that slider. It looks like he's got it working tonight.
Yeah, you're right. It's just some good movement to it. Sometimes it goes down, sometimes it sweeps, but it's got good movement. I don't care where it's going. It's moving pretty good.
And that one misses badly. That's the closer for the Mariners, Tom Wilhelmsen. See Pomeranz in the top of the 9th inning. Out in front and into the seats down the left field line.
Yeah, you can see how Smith will make you a little bit jumpy. He's a pretty tall guy. He's lanky. He'll stand tall, then kind of drop down, then he'll raise back up again with his head, and all types of funk coming at you as a hitter.
And reach for, hit towards center, and that's a base hit. So Canha gets his second hit against a tough right-hander.
It's a really good piece of hitting right there. That was a tough pitch, a really good pitch, slider down and away. Not sure how Mark got to that ball, but stayed on it just enough to dink it into center field. It's a good piece of hitting.
So to get Laurie in at bat. Laurie's 2 for 4. A's now have 14 hits in the game. Slider inside corner for a strike. Outfield playing very deep now with Canha being the tying run, and that's it up the middle. That's a base hit. And Canha stops at second. So once again, the A's with a chance to tie it.
First pitch, he went with the slider, then he comes back with a fastball. And Brett able just to bring his hands in and hit it up the middle for a single. Good piece of hitting. Just a tough at bat for righties against Carson.
So it's up to Valencia. See the grand slam in the first inning by Valencia. He also had a base hit in the 5th. So he's got 2 hits. Burns has 2. Canna has 2. Laurie has 3. Now Lloyd McClennan's coming out again. He's determined to use every single reliever down in that bullpen. All right. So see if he goes to the closer Wilhelmsen or leaves Carson Smith. And Beimel is also down there, left-hander. So McClendon has the chat with his pitcher and leaves him in. So Smith will face Valencia with the game on the line here in the 8th. Plenty of speed. Can at second, Laurie at first. And the pitch to Valencia is fouled. A pitch that was running way in on Valencia.
Yeah, and you may wonder why McClendon decided to go out there himself and not send out the pitching coach. And he had learned that from his old manager, Jim Leland. If you got something to say, go out there and say it yourself. Don't regret not saying it.
Was this a foul ball?
Or did it hit the catcher's glove? Catcher's interference. What's he saying? Pass ball maybe? Or
well,
so the runners could advance? Maybe he swung through it? Yeah. And you can kind of see that's what Vogt was raising his hands in the background.
It doesn't look like there was contact made.
Yeah, he looked like he just whiffed it.
Although the catcher.
Yeah, I don't think he hit it either.
But the catcher did not. You would think if, as the catcher, if you know the ball went off your glove, you would at least make an effort to go get it. Where he just reached for a new ball from the home plate umpire.
Well, he might have had a brain freeze too. You never know. But Bob's, what he's saying is it should be second and third right now. Still with an 0-1 count, obviously.
So it goes as a foul ball. One pitch. There's the wicket slider. Now it's 0-2. So Valencia is going to have to really dig in and battle Smith here.
Yeah, he's just throwing about 6 foot of balls right there. 3 feet in, 3 feet away, and Valencia swung and missed both of them, or foul tipped one of them. Sorry.
Setting up outside again, and there it is. And Valencia swings and misses. So that's tough at bat. Carson Smith gets out of it. The A's strand a pair. 9th inning coming up. It's still 9-8 Mariners. Vince Cotroneo and Cora, Eric Chavez, myself, we're going to get together, have an unscripted roundtable discussion about tonight's game. It's only on A's Postgame Live at 95.7 The Game, after the game. So, see, I read that right there. Every Friday in the top of the 9th inning. Right there. So, for those of you who thought that I memorized that, I do not. So, it's 9-8, top of the 9th inning. Drew Pomeranz comes in. Eric, you just gave me the pitcher count. What are we at here?
I want to say when Wilhelmsen comes in next inning to close it out, it'll be 15.
7 for the Mariners so far. Yeah, oh, I got 14 with Pomeranz.
Right, 14.
Yep.
And then when Tom comes in next inning.
7, yeah. New York Cardinals. And there's a line drive to right field, and that's a base hit for Vital Marte. Off Drew Pomeranz.
It's a very good swing right here. It's a fastball middle. Stays on it. Big leg kick, high hands.
Now batting, number 15,
short to the ball.
Kyle
drives
Seager.
it the other way. Good looking swing. He's really looked well against the A's.
He sure has. 2 for 5 tonight with a single and a double. And here's Seager. Speaking of high leg kick, there's a hitter that we have to acknowledge here. And that's Carlos Gonzalez from the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah.
Talk about quietly. I mean, he is as hot as any hitter's been in the last 5 or 6 years. And
you're not hearing about it.
Yeah, you're not hearing about it. And
yeah.
You may think I'm exaggerating, but he homered again tonight.
No, he didn't.
Oh, yeah. Homered twice last night.
Well, you know what? Chris Davis is pretty hot, too.
That's true. But is he this hot? Listen to this. Carlos Gonzalez has 32 home runs since June 1st. June, July, August. So just a shade over 3 months. He's got 32 home runs.
He's definitely in the park to do it, but that's a sweet swing he's got.
Oh, my goodness.
It's amazing he's jumped around as much as he has.
That one's hit to right. Going back is Smolinski, and it is gone. And that is a huge hit for Kyle Seager. 2 insurance runs to make it 11-8.
And Kyle is locked in. He hasn't taken a bad swing tonight. He stayed in against lefties. I mean, he is seeing the ball like a beach ball right now, and that wasn't a bad pitch. That's not the go zone for a lefty. Down and in for a lefty. That pitch was up and in. And he's got to that pitch twice tonight. And he's just on an impressive roll right now.
So 3 for 4, 3 RBIs for Seager. And for the Mariners, 12th straight game with a home run. A couple tonight. Big ones too. Romero a 2-run homer, and now Seager a 2-run homer. And here's Stephan Romero. So you just wanted Pomeranz to have a nice easy inning and keep it a 1-run deficit. But I just thought we should acknowledge Carlos Gonzalez because the Rockies are not having a very good year. And you really, I mean, I knew he was hot, but I didn't realize he was that hot.
Right.
To shrink the size a little bit, he's got 23 home runs in his last 41 games. That's unbelievable.
I can't even fathom that.
I mean,
he got off to a slow start.
He did. He really did. He was really struggling early. So Romero swings and misses. Be a little anger behind that fastball from Pomeranz.
I am surprised the Rockies held on to him, though. They traded too low. I thought he was gone next.
Number 22, Robinson Cano.
Well, whoever would have got him, they would have got a hot hitter.
Yeah, no kidding.
Here's Cano. And Cano bounces one towards second. Maury on the backhand. 2-1. That's Seth Smith will hit for the 5th time. He's walked, hit a couple of fly balls, and he has struck out. Now Wilhelmsen gets up again in the bullpen.
Seth Smith.
In the 9th inning, the A's will have Vogt, Smolinski, and Reddick. First pitch to Smith, slider down and away. There's Wilhelmsen, who is now the closer. Closer situation right now. Or, I'm sorry, a save situation right now. Headed for the upper deck. Don't see too many foul balls go up to the upper deck. One and one to Smith. And again hit high and foul. This one down the line a little bit. Mariners probably still hoping to, as far as a goal to play for the rest of the year, get back to 500. They're 63 and 71. So they got a shot to do that if they get on a hot streak.
Yeah,
it may not sound like a big deal, but you got to play for something.
You're right. No, it is a big deal. I mean, getting a look at some of these guys. You know, they just fired their GM. They need to figure some things out. But it looks good. They're trending up. They're definitely playing a lot better.
Count stays 2-2 to Smith. It'll be interesting to see what they do. They got some young pitchers trying to keep them healthy. Paxton, the left-hander, has been hurt a lot this year, and that's been a big loss for them. Pitched against the A's last year and then early this year. He's good, but he's on the disabled list. Iwakuma's a free agent. To decide what to do with him.
I think he's a really good pitcher.
Yep.
I really do. They're not far off. They don't need to do much. Tweak here and there.
And the breaking ball, and Smith strikes out. Side retires. Seager with a big homer, 2-run shot. So Wilhelmsen coming in. It's the bottom of the 9th, and the Mariners lead 11-8.
Seattle Mariners, Kyle Seager, a double down the right field line, single up the middle off Abad. And the big blow off of Drew Pomeranz 2-run homer to right. Mariners offensively swinging it much better, and he's right in the middle of the mix of it.
So 11-8. 19 runs in the game, 28 hits. And the save situation for Wilhelmsen, who's 8 for 8 in save opportunities this year. He was the closer in 2012 when he had 29 saves, and in 2013 when he had 24 saves. But 2014 it was Fernando Rodney, and Wilhelmsen was a setup man, but still had a good year last year. His 4th full year in the big leagues. So vote Smolinski and Reddick here in the bottom of the 9th. Whatever happens, the A's always seem to have a knack to at least make things interesting in the bottom of the 9th inning. Vogt had a pinch hit single in the 7th, and now it's 3-0.
Definitely an auto take right here. Make him throw 2 strikes.
A 3-0 pitch on the outside corner for a strike. 6:05 first pitch tomorrow. Jesse Chavez and Felix Hernandez. And that one misses outside, and it's a leadoff walk here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Yeah, that's why you make him throw 2 strikes right there. Your run means nothing, even if you hit a homer. So what? Get the leadoff guy on, get a little rally going, pass it down the line.
Looked like he was taken all the way, and it's in for a strike.
Yeah, and as a hitter, you're taking a strike until you're the tying run in the box.
On the ground to short. Out at second. Cano's turn is in time, and it's a 6-4-3 double play, and just like that, there are 2 outs.
Elvis comes with a slider. Marte stays with it. Gives Cano a good feed. Good arm by Robbie. 6-4-3.
Now it's up to Reddick. Reddick pitch hit in the 7th inning as well, and he had a base hit. He's had a couple of runners in that inning, but could not score when trailing by 1. Now they trail by 3. Reddick loops one down the left field line, and it is foul. So 0-2 to Josh. Hicks sets up outside, and there's that sharp breaking ball by Wilhelmsen. Throws it right over top. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and that's how this ball game ends. So a wild game, lots of offense tonight, but when it's all said and done, the Seattle Mariners, who are starting to play better baseball, get the win. The Mariners have now won 5 out of their last 7, and they win game 1 of this series. It took 3 hours and 38 minutes in front of 16,300 382. Final score tonight from the Coliseum. The Seattle Mariners 11 and the Oakland A's 8. You've been watching A's Baseball on CSN California, part of the NBC Sports Group. Don't go away. A's Postgame Live with Brody Brazil and Shooty Babbitt starts right now.